So one of the most frustrating things on YouTube has to be posting a video that not only gets no views, but that is similar to a bunch of other videos that are getting tens or maybe even hundreds of thousands of views. And it just adds so much more insult to injury because their content doesn't seem to be all that different from yours. Why is the algorithm rewarding them and not you? Well, I actually came across this channel. It was super interesting. I wanted to show you. So it's called JSpark. This dude's super smart, makes videos about studying. But what I particularly found interesting, 1 month ago, he posted this video titled "How to Study So Fast That It Feels Illegal," almost 2 million views in 1 month. But if we come down here, we can see this video, "Learn So Fast as a Student That It Feels Illegal," only got 8.6k views despite being posted 3 months ago. Now, I know I say only there, and if you have a really small channel, don't worry, this video will still be very applicable to you, as you'll see in a second. But only 8.6k views compared to 2 million, especially when these videos are about basically the exact same topic, like learning and studying as a student. And not only that, but they're by the exact same creator. Like, why did the algorithm choose to push this video over this one? Well, I spent a little bit of time nerding out about this, and I thought I'd take you guys on that journey with me because what I uncovered applies to so many channels, regardless of what niche they're in, and even if you have 0 subscribers, and it'll help you get more views. Now, the first thing I noticed was really interesting because it reminded me of something I learned when I was working at a marketing agency, which I did for 4 years. And one of the things I did was run those annoying Google ads that show up if you search for like bricklayers near me. If I had a bricklaying client, I'd run Google search ads so their website showed up top. And after spending literally hundreds of thousands of dollars on Google ads, I found something pretty interesting, and that was usually the closer the Google ads headline to the thing people were searching for on Google, the more people would click on my ad. So for example, if people were typing in bricklaying for garden wall, I would get a better click-through rate on my ads if my ad said hire the garden wall bricklaying experts, as opposed to just hire bricklaying experts. And a marketing mentor I look up to summarized it like this: details equals desire. The more closely you can specifically articulate exactly what it is that people want in the moment they encounter your ad, the more of them would click. And I found that the same principle translated over to YouTube. Now, if we look at these two videos, right, we have the dud video and the viral one. Now, they're both about the same topic, but the viral one's title is "How to Study So Fast Feels Illegal." Now, the dud one is titled "Learn So Fast as a Student It Feels Illegal." But when students are thinking about learning, they're not thinking, I have to learn this topic. They're thinking, I need to study this topic. So the term studying is closer and more specific to the internal dialogue these students have when they're looking for a video like this. And that's one of the reasons this video with study in it resonated far more strongly. Now, another thing that's interesting I learned in marketing is humans have a negativity bias. Like, it doesn't matter how good of a thing you come across, if you look up and see a saber-toothed tiger, instantly your focus is going to be 100% on the saber-toothed tiger, the bad thing. And that's because good things are nice, but bad things can kill you. And so the human mind has evolved for a sort of negativity bias. For example, you're much more likely to click on a video that's like, these YouTube settings will f you, compared to a video that says these are the best YouTube settings. And when we look at these two videos here, what you'll notice is negativity bias is actually working in favor of this video. When you think about studying, usually you think about long, grinding hours, usually drudgery and oblivion. Most normal people don't want to study. It's just something you have to do to pass your tests. On the other hand, the sentiment around learning is a bit more positive. People want to learn things. And so because the word study has more negative connotations inherently within it, it's more likely to be the video that's going to attract the attention. Now, another thing I want to talk about, efficiency of communication. If we go word by word through these videos, like we look at the first word, the second word, the third word, by the time you get to the third word of the highly successful video, you pretty much know what the video is about and who it's for. It's a tutorial on how to study, and studying is pretty much just for students. On the other hand, the second video, "Learn So Fast," it's still a bit more vague and ambiguous. You have to get 6 words in before you realize, oh, okay, this is a study video for students. The first video communicates the value it provides much quicker, which is one of the reasons why it's got more views. So in summary, these are just points that relate to the title of these videos here, but the principles are very applicable to any small YouTube channel. First, if people are interested in a certain topic, the closer it is that your video appears to be, usually the better results you're going to get. The other thing, negativity bias. If you're looking at a topic and you can position it in a more negative light as opposed to a positive one, often you'll see better results. If your titles are always very positive, see if you can take advantage of some negativity bias. And lastly, try and efficiently communicate the information in your title. Now, there are some exceptions to this where you're trying to be quirky or unique or tell a story. But in the case we're looking at here, where these two titles, at least the very beginning of them, try and structure your wording as efficiently as possible. But we've only just got started, because now that we've dissected the titles, let's analyze these thumbnails to uncover the hidden tactics that made one of them get 250 times more views than the other. But before we get into that, when you blow up your videos, you might want to start growing your brand and earning more money. You can do that by creating an online store, and that's where today's sponsor, .store domains, come in. See, your domain is a big part of your brand online. So instead of settling for a long, confusing .com domain like most small creators, why not take the name your fans are already familiar with and just add a .store? It's short, intuitive, and it tells the world, hey, I'm selling something on this website. And that's why .store domains are used by creators like Mr. Beast, Dude Perfect, Zach King, Speed, and even yours truly. So you can grab your own .store domain today for just 99 cents for the first year with my link and code below. So build a better brand, sell more, and join the world's top creators with today's sponsor, .store domains. But now, let's get back to analyzing JSpark's 2 videos, specifically what he did in his thumbnails to go from 8,000 views to 2 million. So these are the 2 thumbnails of these videos. And something I want to point out with our low performer here. It's making the big mistake I call wasting screen real estate. So let's imagine you're out, you're flirting with a girl, and you say to her, you look really cute tonight. You look really hot. She's going to be like, well, that's kind of weird. Why'd you just say the same thing twice in different words? And then she's going to throw a drink in your face and everyone will laugh at you. When you walk home alone, 4 guys jump you. And when you wake up, you're in the middle of the road with a black eye. So to not end up in the middle of the road with a black eye, you need to use your conversational real estate more effectively. Instead of saying the same thing, essentially, in 2 lines, say something different. You can be like, hey, you're looking really cute tonight. I love your dress. Same overall topic. You're complimenting her, but you're saying something different. You're actually adding something new to the conversation. And the problem with this video, the title says learn so fast, and the thumbnail says learn fast. It's saying the same thing twice and wasting real estate. Compare that to our other thumbnail where it shows this sort of statistical comparison thing that actually adds a brand new element or angle to this video's package. And your videos try to do the same thing. Now, another obvious one here is that at a distance, this thumbnail is really kind of hard to see what's going on. The text blends into the background. The images chosen just don't stand out. You guys probably picked up on that, but those are things that you would want to fix. Now, last thing I want to mention before we actually jump into the video content here, and this is more specific to authority or education channels. But essentially, if you're teaching someone something or showing off your elite skills in a certain area, you need to convince people of your credibility, that you can actually deliver on what it is that you say you can deliver on. Now, there's 3 big ways to sort of encapsulate that. The first is to build a reputation. It's essentially the Mr. Beast effect. If you put a Mr. Beast face in a thumbnail, it's more likely to do well than if it's just like a random person. But that one's quite hard to do because you sort of have to become a very well-known personality in your niche to leverage that. So the other 2 are more practical. The first one is you can sort of hijack someone else's reputation by talking about or to them or by sharing things they've done. And the other one is to share data or objective facts that, even though people have no idea who you are, back up why it is people should trust you. Now, this bad thumbnail lacks a lot of credibility. Even if you can see what's going on, we don't know if this guy's actually doing these things well. Like, anyone can sit at a piano, pretend to be punching someone and read a book. That's not much of a flex. On the other hand, here we're showing a statistic. You spend 20% of the time to get 99% of the grade. Now, the statistic is made up, obviously, but some people might not realize that. And so it's like, okay, this guy's promising I can spend 20% of the time to get 99% of the grade. That is an objective data point this person is sharing with me. Let me give them a go. And often this can work with sort of large milestone-esque numbers that would be hard to fake. If you made a video titled How I Reached 10,000 Followers on Instagram in 7 days, sharing that data is going to get you some credibility because people will look at the video and think, well, surely they didn't lie about that. Like, if they lied about getting 10,000 followers in 7 days, then the whole video is fake. And most people aren't brash enough to just blatantly lie. Now, entertainment creators, this doesn't matter as much, although you do want to try and make sure the content you're teasing in your videos seems believable to viewers. It's less about getting them to trust you as an authority and more about getting them to trust that you show them exactly what it is that you say you're going to show them in the title and thumbnail. And hopefully you're starting to see now, it's not that the algorithm hates you, it's that often there are these little tweaks that someone with maybe less experience might not notice that's causing you to think your videos are exactly the same as someone else's that are blowing up, when in reality there are a bunch of things they're doing that you're not aware of that's getting them the better results. And if you apply the things I just talked about, plus the things we're going to talk about from a retention side, chances are you'll be getting a lot more views very soon. Now, let's talk about the video itself. First, let's watch the intro of the low performer, see if you can figure out what it is that made the video tank.
Whether it's you now as a student and you have to learn new concepts, equations, formulas, subjects, or it's you later down the line when you have your own kids.
Oh, my back's been blown out.
You need to learn about the new trends.
What the f fuck is a Sigma? What the fuck is this shit, bro? What the
So like the brand new technology that's come out.
VR girlfriend 2.0? What the fuck?
We can all agree that learning and being a lifelong student is crucial. You see,
So 24 seconds in, the intro of the video is sort of semi-concluded, even though the actual intro continues to go on for another 35 seconds-ish. Now, something here I want to point out immediately, and you might have noticed this. We talked about digital real estate, not wasting space, repeating yourself too many times in a really short span. Now, what I found was basically after watching this full intro, in a nutshell, JS Spark's essentially just talking about why learning is important. But think about that. I'm a viewer. I've read the title. I've seen the thumbnail. I want to know how to learn. And now you've just told me why I should want to know how to learn for a minute straight. Like, bro, you're preaching to the choir. Also, this video is targeting students who want to learn how to study more efficiently. And yet, a big portion of the video's intro is talking about why learning is going to be crucial to you down the line as an adult. These people just want to discover how to learn more efficiently so they can pass that stupid test next Friday. Like, yes, the skits were funny, but it doesn't actually empathize with what it is the viewer cares about, why they clicked on this video in the first place. And another big thing, we talked about social proof and credibility. And at no point does JSpark even subtly convey why he's an authority on this topic and why you should even listen to a word he has to say. There's no social proof or credibility going on. The only thing I can see him being an expert in right now is pop culture memes, I guess, which is not helpful in this context. But now let's look at the viral video.
the number one reason that students don't get top grades is because they don't study, obviously. But the number one reason that students don't study is because studying just takes too long. And I still
So we're only 10 seconds in here, but I feel like I can already pause the video because there are a bunch of things he's done really, really well here. In the beginning 5 seconds, he's essentially said what took him 24 seconds in the previous video. He's sort of assured viewers that like, hey, I understand what it is that you're looking for and you're in the right place because I'm going to teach you exactly that. But beyond that, something he's done here that's really genius is you might notice he didn't start off the video by saying, here's how to study. He started off by talking about how to get good grades, which when you think about it is so smart because why does someone actually want to study? They want to get good grades. Now, yes, studying might be the thing at the forefront of their mind in this very moment, but if you can share with them like, hey, I'm going to show you how to study because I know you want to get a good grade. People are like, I am understood. But then beyond that, if we go on to watch the rest of this intro, which goes for about 50 seconds, a bunch of different interesting things are actually covered. First, we talk about good grades and why studying is the gateway to them. And then he shares the number one sort of study killer, which is procrastination. And then he shares what causes procrastination. Then how to rewire your brain to combat this. And then he makes a very good move by showing his GCSE scores, which objectively give him credibility and prove that he's smart because the scores are very good. And then on top of that, he sweetens the deal by sharing how he got these crazy results by actually doing less work. So look at how much more value and interest is created in this intro compared to the first one we looked at, where he essentially just says, you should learn for like a minute straight. You can see there's just way more objective value here. And so if we're to take the things we just learned and apply them to the bad video, and these are things you could think about doing too, first, make the beginning of your videos more interesting, both through covering more interesting topics, but also being very aware of not laboring on about the obvious. Next, try to briefly pinpoint what it is the viewers actually want, like their deeper desires. Again, in this case, studying is sort of the thing we want to lead with because that's top of mind for his viewers, but beyond that, they're studying so that they can get better grades. And quickly calling that out shows you have a very good understanding of their situation and empathizes with them. And then lastly, add social proof. Again, if we look at this video, you can see there's a big spike in retention right here when he shows the results he got. And there's also another spike up here, and spoiler alert, this is where he shows the results he got again.
I used to be kind of mediocre, average, until I made a change and that led me to get these results.
I've been very harsh. Both of these videos are good. The editing's entertaining, the personality's fun. We've identified good topics in both of them. I'm just nerd ranting here about some more specifics. But moving on from the intro, there's something important about the rest of the content itself you need to know. Now, I won't make you watch all these videos for the sake of time, but I have. And in summary, the content in both of these videos is structured and presented in a very similar way. But I noticed one key thing. So, for example, in this viral video, there was a particular point where he revealed his study process. And it was super practical. He said, first, you're going to identify the things you're weak at and the things that are going to get you the most marks. And you got to focus almost all of your study time just on those things, instead of doing the things that you're good at, which most people like to do because it makes you feel more accomplished. So it's a very quick, practical tactic that people could take from this video, apply to their lives, and get a quick win. And newsflash, people are lazy as hell. They want the quick wins. On the other hand, the less good video talked a lot more about principles and concepts. For example, we talked for over 2 minutes about why it's okay to make mistakes, which is true, but it's far from a novel concept in this day and age. And so 2 things you can take away from this is 1, quick, practical tactics and wins. People really appreciate that in education content. And 2, novel information. If you talk too much about things that people think they already know about, even if they don't actually know about them, they're still probably just going to skip or leave, which means you're going to get a lot less views. And it could be the difference between you getting 8,000 views or 2 million views. But before you go and apply all those things, you need to actually have a good video idea to work from in the first place. If you don't have a proven video idea like we talked about earlier, all this stuff I just talked about is going to make no difference to your views because you're essentially going to be polishing a turd. I know it sounds mean, but it's the truth. So check out the video on screen before doing all of this. It's going to show you how to find a good video idea. You can then find a good video idea, come back here, apply everything you learned. And if you found this video useful and you get more results because of it, let me know down below. I'll do more reviews. Cheers.